Salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Let me start by saying I'm very much impressed by your presentations. Alhamdulillah. It is good to know that I'm speaking to students of knowledge. This is the first time you had opportunity to speak. I have been speaking, but now I know the type of people I'm speaking to. Alhamdulillah. Please put more effort and also invite more of your brothers and sisters to such occasions and discuss these issues with them. Hold their hand to school. By so doing, you are holding their hand to Jannah. Now, where are we going to start from? Now, where are we going to start from this session? Sorry? Page 72. What's the topic? As-sutra wa wujubuha. Now, we're going to talk about sutra. Sutra is to put something before you when you are praying, such that if someone passes beyond it, it won't harm you. That is what is called sutra. Sutra, he said, as-sutra wa wujubuha. Sutra and the obligation of using sutra. So it's an obligation. Some people will say that I'm praying alone, so I'm praying in a place that no one is passing, so I don't need to put sutra. No, you have to. Now, if you have to close this hall and you pray here, it's strong for you to pray without sutra. Because if people are not passing, we're going to come and read today, devil is passing. So you have to put sutra to barricade yourself from passing anything. It's not human only. We will hear the Prophet ﷺ said anything. But we are going to discuss 6 points about sutra. Maybe all you know is sutra is good, is an obligation. You have to put sutra. But now there are 6 rulings that we're going to study today in this session about sutra. The first thing is, وَكَانَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ يَقِفُ قَرِيبًا مِنَ السُّتْرَةِ. The Prophet ﷺ will stay near, close to sutra. You can't place it there and come here and pray. It has to be close. But at what distance? It will tell you. فَكَانَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ الْجِدَارِ ثَلَاثَةَ أَذْرُعٍ. Between him and sutra and the wall will be 3 cubits. 3 zira, 3 cubits. So you don't have to measure exactly, but you have to estimate that I think from here to here is like 3 cubic. So that's 3 zira is what is supposed to be between you. That is when you are standing. What of, cubits, C-U-B-I-T-S, C-U-B-I-T-S. Yeah, Google it. Yeah, it can include from here. Yeah. Thalathatu adhru. So if you can measure, you measure. If you don't have to, you can just estimate. Right? But when you go to sujood, then you will get closer to it. وَبَيْنَ مَوْضِئِ سُجُودِهِ وَالْجِدَارِ مَمَوْشَى. And he will leave a space between him and sutra. When he goes to sujood, there will be the passage of a sheep, a place where a sheep can pass. Now, many people ask, how length can I go when I go to sujood? Now, if you want to know, is you measure 3 cubits, then you stand. Then when you go to sujood, make sure the passage will only be a passage for a sheep. And that's how far you are supposed to go for sujood. Do we understand? The Prophet ﷺ will stand between him and sutra will be 3 zira. But when he goes to sujood, it will be only a passage, a place that a sheep can pass. This is first issue. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ. He also used to say, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لَا تُسَلِّ إِلَّا إِلَى sutra. Do not pray unless you place a sutra before you. So don't say, I'm praying alone. No, do not pray. It's an obligation to put a sutra. وَلَا تَدَعُ أَحَدًا يَمُرُّ بَيْنَ يَدَيْكَ. Don't allow anything, not necessarily human being, we're going to come and study, anything to pass before you. So if you have a pet and you are praying and your pet won't pass, your cat won't pass, don't allow it. وَلَا تَمُرُّ أَحَدًا يَمُرُّ بَيْنَ يَدَيْكَ. Don't allow anything to pass before you. فَإِنْ أَبَى. If that very thing refuses, insisted that it has to pass before you, فَلْتُقَاتِلْهُ. Then fight it. If it is human being or an animal, you can fight it. Why do you want to pass before me? فَإِنَّ مَعَهُ قَرِينٌ. There is a companion with him, meaning there is a shaitan with him. If something insisted that it has to pass before you, then the Prophet ﷺ said, fight that very thing. وَيَقُولُ, he also said, إِذَا صَلَّى أَحَدُكُمْ إِلَى سِتْرَةٍ. If one of you places sitra and pray toward the sitra, فَلْيَدْنُ مِنْهَا. He shall come closer to it. وَلَا يَقْطَعُ الشَّيْطَانُ عَلَيْهِ صَلَاتَهُ. He shall not allow shaitan to break his salah. So if you think that no one is passing, you don't know shaitan is passing. So most of the waswas that come in you in salah is because you didn't put sitra. So shaitan will come near you and he will create a lot of waswas for you. This is the first thing. I said we're going to study 6 issues. The second, وَكَانَ أَحْيَانًا. Who can read?
وَكَانَ أَحْيَانًا يَتَحَرَّى الصَّلَاةِ عِنْدَ أُسْوَانِ الَّتِي فِي الْمَسْجِدِ. وَكَانَ إِذَا صَلَّى
No, that's number 2. Yeah. وَكَانَ أَحْيَانًا يَتَحَرَّى الصَّلَاةَ. Sometimes the Prophet ﷺ will seek to pray in the أُسْوَانَةِ الَّتِي فِي مَسْجِدِهِ, behind the pillar in his masjid. So when you're praying here, you don't need to put a chair for sitra. You can go to this pillar. You can go to that pillar. You can go to anywhere. You just need to have something in front of you. That's it. وَكَانَ أَحْيَانًا يَتَحَرَّى الْأُسْوَانَ. Sometimes he will seek to pray behind the pillar in his masjid. So if you go to masjid, there are a lot of pillars. Don't go just and pray anywhere. Go to one of the pillars and just bear in mind this hadith, that this is how the Prophet ﷺ used to do. Number 3.
غرز بين يديه حربة فصلى إليها والناس
وراءه.
وأحيانا كان يعرض راحلته فيصلي إليها، وهذا خلاف الصلاة في أعضاء فإنه نهى عنها. وأحيانا كان يأخذ الرحلة ويعدله فيصلي إلى آخره.
Oh, طيب, this is number 3. وَكَانَ إِذَا صَلَّى فِي فَضَاءٍ لَيْسَ فِيهِ شَيْءٌ يَسْتَتِرُ بِهِ. Sometimes when he prays in an open space that he has nothing to put, غَرَزَ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ حَرْبَةً. Then he will put his spear, his sword, he will put it. That the sword will be his sitra. فَصَلَّى إِلَيْهَا. Then he will pray facing it. وَالنَّاسُ وَرَاءَهُ. While people are behind him. وَأَحْيَانًا, and sometimes كَانَ يُؤَغِضُ رَاحِلَتَهُ فَيُسَلِّي إِلَيْهَا. Sometimes he will put his camel and he will pray behind the camel. So if you have a car, you can make your car a sitra. You are on a journey, it is in an open space, you don't have anything to do sitra, then you do it with your car, because the Prophet ﷺ did it with his camel. Then, but you know, praying in places where camels are tied is forbidden. He said, وَهَذَا خِلَافُ الصَّلَاةِ فِي أَعْطَانِ الْإِبِلِ. This is different from praying in the resting place of camels. If this is a resting place for camels, you are forbidden to pray there. But now this is only one camel. This is not a resting place for camel. You are on a journey, then you place your camel and pray is different from praying where a camel are resting, which is forbidden. فَإِنَّهُ نَهَا عَنْهُ. The Prophet ﷺ forbade praying in the resting places of camel. So now you have this. Once you are asked, where and where can't we pray? You said also a resting place for camel, you can't pray there. You can't pray in resting places for sheep, but for camel, no. For cows, yes. For camel, no. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ. This is number 4.
وَكَانَ يَقُولُ إِذَا وَضَعَ أَحَدُكُمْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ مِثْلَ مَخْرَجَ الرَّحْمِ فَلْيُصَلِّ وَلَا يُبَالِي مَنْ مَرَّ وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ وَصَلَّى مَرَّةً إِلَى الشَّجَرَةِ. وكان أحيانا يصلي إلى السرير وعائشة رضي الله عنها مضطجعة عليه فهذا خفيفا. وكان صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يدع شيئا يمر بين يديه وبين السترة فقط. كان يصلي إذ جاءت شاة تسعى بين يديه فساءها حتى
ألزق بطنه بالحائط ومرت
من ورائه.
Okay, number 4. What is sufficient for sitra? Can you just place your pen, say this is my pen, or just a bottle of water and just place it? No. there is condition for what you can place for sitra. It has to be as big as what? وَكَانَ يَقُولُ, and he used to say, إِذَا وَضَعَ أَحَدُكُمْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ مِثْلَ مُوخِرَةِ الرَّحِلِ. If one of you place before him like the stick at the back of saddle of a camel. We know camel saddle, right? The stick at the back where you learn. So it shall be like zira, 1 zira. It has to be 1 zira. It has to be a zira, a length of 1 zira. So if you have something like that, so this will not, it's not sufficient. Something like this is not sufficient. It has to be at the length of that stick behind the saddle of a camel. He said, when you place something like that, فَلْيُسَلِّ, just pray. فَلَا يُبَالِي مَا مَرَّ وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ. Don't mind whatever goes beyond that. If something passes beyond it, don't worry. وَصَلَّى مَرَّةً إِلَى الشَّجَرَةِ. Once the Prophet ﷺ prayed facing a tree. So he made a tree. If there is a forest or only one tree, you can pray using the tree to be the sitra. وَكَانَ أَحْيَانًا يُصَلِّي إِلَى السَّرِيرِ. Occasionally he used to pray making a bed in the room, making a bed as a sitra. وَعَائِشَةُ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهَا مُتَّجِئَةٌ عَلَيْهِ. Aisha radiallahu anha was lying on it. So his wife Aisha lying on a bed, and he used the bed as a sitra. Then, وَكَانَ صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يدع شيئا يمر بينه وبين السترة. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم won't allow anything to pass between him and sitra. Once you place a sitra and something coming to pass, don't allow it. لا يمر شيئا. He doesn't allow anything. He didn't allow anything to pass between him and sitra. فَقَدْ كَانَ يُسَلِّي. One day he was praying. إِذْ جَاءَتْ شَاةٌ تَسْعَى. Then a goat came trying to pass between him and sitra. فَسَعَاهَا. Then he rests it. He rests with the goat. The goat is trying to pass, and he rests the goat. حَتَّى أَلْزَقَ بَطَنَهُ بِالْجِدَارِ بِالْحَائِطِ. Until he placed his belly sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the wall. The sitra was between him. He used the wall to be his sitra. Then goat wanted to pass. The Prophet ﷺ raised the goat until he placed his belly ﷺ to the wall, just not to allow the goat to pass before him. So don't say he's just a kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. No, don't say it's just like a pet, a cat. Don't allow anything to pass between you and sitra. Wasalla maktubat. This is something you cannot do, but we just read it. So, Prophet did it, but you cannot do it. We cannot do it. Go ahead.
وعلم الله لولا ما سبقني إليه أخي سليمان لردته إلى سرير
لرتبط إلى سارية
من سواري المسجد حتى يطيف به
ولدان أهل المدينة.
فمن استطاع أن لا يحول بينه وبينها إلا أحد فليكن.
طيب, this is it. وصلى صلاة مكتوبة. One day he was praying one of the obligatory prayers. فَضَمَّ يَدَهُ. He clenched his fist. He was praying, he just clenched his fist. And people were surprising. فَلَمَّا صَلَّى. When he finished, قَالُوا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ أَحَدَثَ فِي الصَّلَاةِ شَيْءٌ. Oh Messenger of Allah, did something happen in Salah? We saw you just praying, but you clenched your fist. Something happened? He said, لا, nothing happened. إِلَّا أَنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ أَرَادَ أَنْ يَمُرَّ بَيْنَ يَدَيَّ. But Shaitan wanted to pass before me. We can't see Shaitan, right? But he saw him. He was praying. He clenched his fist. And they asked him, what happened? Anything wrong? After Salah, he said, nothing. But Shaitan wanted to pass before me. Then what happened? فَخَنَقْتُهُ. I strangled him. حَتَّى وَجَدْتُ بَرْدَ لِسَانَهُ عَلَى يَدِي. Until I had the coldness of his tongue on my hands. When the Prophet ﷺ strangled him, he brought out his tongue until the Prophet ﷺ had the coldness of his tongue on his hand. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, Waymullah. You can read Waymullah, Wa'aymullah. You can read all the same. Waymullah. I swear to God, لولا ما سبقني إليه أخي سليمان, had my brother Sulaiman not bet me on it, لارتبطته إلى سارية من سرار المسجد, I would have tied him on one of the pillars of the masjid, حتى يقف عليه غلمان أهل المدينة, until the children of Medina will walk around him. He said, my brother Sulaiman bet me on it, because he said in the Quran, who can remember the verse? The verse where he said, he already bet me on that, I can't do that because of my brother Sulaiman. We all know Prophet Sulaiman, right? He said, what did he say? He said, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي. He said, oh Allah, gfirli, oh Allah, forget my sins, وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا, also give me a kingdom, لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي, that no one after me will get that kingdom. And the kingdom he had is that he used to punish jinn. So the Prophet ﷺ said, I wanted to punish him, but my Akhi Sulaiman, my brother Prophet Sulaiman, bet me on that, because he already prayed and Allah answered his prayer, and he was given power over jinn that he can punish them. That is why I didn't punish him. Now it shows you that the Prophet ﷺ didn't allow anything to pass before him. This is a God trying to pass, he raised the God. This is shaitan trying to pass, he strangled the shaitan. So don't allow anything to pass before you. But we cannot do that because we don't see shaitan, right? Then he said, فَمَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ أَلَّا يَحُولَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ الْقِبْلَةِ أَحَدٌ فَلْيَفْعَلْ. Whoever is able not to allow anything to pass before him or between him and the Qibla and the Sutra, he shall do that. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ, he's also used to say, إِذَا صَلَّى أَحَدُكُمْ إِلَى شَيْءٍ يَسْتُرُهُ مِنَ النَّاسِ. When some of you prayed to a sitra he placed, فَأَرَادَ أَحَدٌ أَنْ يَسْتَازَ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ, and someone wants to pass before him, between him and the sitra, فَلْيَدْفَعْ فِي نَهَرِهِ, he shall push him on his throat, he shall use his hand to push him. وَلْيَدْرَأْ مَسْتَطَعَ, he shall try to repel as much as he can, not to allow him to pass. وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ فَلْيَمْنَعْهُ مَرَّتَيْنِ, in another narration, he shall stop him twice. فَإِنْ أَبَى, if he insisted that he want to pass, فَلْيُقَاتِلْهُ, he shall fight him. فَإِنَّمَا هُوَ شَيْطَانٌ, he is the shaitan. How can you meet someone praying and you insist you want to pass between him and sutra? The Prophet says, I'll call you shaitan if you do that. أن يكيف what? أن يكيف أن يكيف لكان أن يكيف 40 خيرا مما يمر بين يديه. Okay, now in the all previous issues about sutra, the Prophet ﷺ is putting emphasis on the person praying. Make sure you play sutra, don't pray without sutra, don't allow anything to pass before you. Now the Prophet is referring to the person who wants to pass. Sometimes after the salah, you are in haste, you just want to pass before people praying. Then it is dangerous. The Prophet ﷺ said, لَوْ يَعْلَمُ الْمَارُ بَيْنَ يَدَيِ الْمُسَلِّي, if the person who is passing before people praying knows مَا عَلَيْهِ, what is against him of sin, لَكَانَ أَنْ يَقِفَ 40, to stop 40. Some people said 40 years to stop waiting. I'm in haste, I want to go and do something. It's better you stop 40 years waiting. I mean, than to pass before the person praying. It is better for you to stay 40. The Prophet ﷺ didn't mention what? 40 years, 40 days, 40 weeks. But the minimum they had then is days. They didn't have the clock now that we have hours and seconds and minutes. So it is better for you to stay. It comes in another hadith, but it's not authentic. It says 40 years. Arba'ina kharifan. But the hadith, the word kharifan is not authentic. But to stay 40, let's take the minimum. 40 days. To wait 40 days for him to finish his prayer is better than you passing before him had you knew the amount of sin you are going to acquire for yourself. So it's really, really bad for you to pass before someone passing. We finish with sutra. But now assuming something or someone passes between you and sutra, does that break your salah? only 3 things can break your salah. So if someone passes, your salah is still valid. But if one of the 3 things pass, then your salah is invalid. What are these 3 things? The next chapter will tell us. Ma yaqta'u salah. Someone. We stated that it is wajib, it's obligatory to place a sutra before you, even if no one is passing, because maybe shaitan will pass. Now, if people pass before you, if something passes before you, does that break your salah? Only 3 things break salah. Ma yaqta'u salah. What breaks your salah? When it passes before you. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ, he used to say, يَقْتَعُ صَلَاةُ الرَّجُلِ إِذَا لَمْ يَكُنْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ كَآخِرَةِ الرَّحِلِ, that the salah of a person becomes invalid if he did not place like the stick behind the saddle of a camel before him. So if you place something like this bottle only, if someone passes over there, your salah, if one of these 3 things passes, your salah is nullified. If you didn't place anything, or you place something like this bottle, or like this mic, or something that is not as the length of that stick behind the saddle of camel, so it has to be at least 1 zirah. It has to be this length at least. If you didn't put it and one of these 3 things pass, your salah is invalid. Number 1, al-mar'atul ha'id, a woman that is a matured woman who is not in state of menstruation, who started menstruation, who did menstruation before. Menstruating woman, but not necessarily in state of menstruation. But she's mature enough to, like 14, 15, whatever age. If she passes before you, your salah is invalid. Number 2, wal-himar, and also a donkey. If a donkey passes before you, your salah is invalid. Wal-kalbul aswad, and also black dog. Qala Abu Dhar radiallahu anhu said, Qultu ya Rasulallah, I said, Ya Rasulallah, ma balul aswadi min al-ahmar. What's the difference between a red dog and a black dog? He said, al-kalbul aswadu shaitan. Black dog is a shaitan. That is why in Islam, in early days, the Prophet ﷺ commanded Sahaba to kill any dog they saw. It is reported in Sunnah Abi Dawud. وَكَانَتِ الْمَرْأَةُ تَأْتِي مِنَ الْبَادِيَةِ بِكَلْبِهَا فَنَقْتُلَهُ. A woman will come from village with her dog, then we'll just go and kill that dog. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, kill all dogs. Then he said, مَا بَالُكُمْ وَبَالُ الْكِلَابِ. What issue do you have with dogs? Why are you killing dogs all the time? They said, because you commanded us. He said, no, kill only black ones. If it is totally dark and black, without any spot of any color, then we are commanded to kill it. It is shaitan. So these 3 things. Now you can say, but Aisha radiallahu anha was on bed and he used the bed as sitra. Now there is difference between someone lying on a bed and someone passing. Passing is what breaks salah. But when someone is sitting, like someone, like even, he said, don't allow anything to pass before you. Don't allow anything to pass before you if you are praying. But if someone finishes praying and he's sitting supplicating, you can use him as sitra. But you can't allow him to pass before you. The same thing with a woman. You can use a woman as sitra, but she can't pass before you. If she does so, it nullifies your salah. Do you understand?
Someone and he's completing his prayer. So I want to, you are like directly into it. So
yeah, you don't leave. It happens to me twice this week. Yeah, I was the last person in the masjid because they are doing second congregational prayer, and they used me as sitra. Everyone left but me and them. I was trying to show them that I was just there before them. Once he said, Assalamu alaikum, I stood off. To show them I was just there before them. I finished my supplication, but I can't move because they are using me as sitra. Now, as soon as I moved, I'm passing before people praying, number 1. Number 2, also, they are praying without sitra. So I was serving a purpose. Sheikh Nasruddin Albani was asked in one of his audios I listened to, can I use my brother as sitra? He said, that's very good if he allows you to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to, yeah. Walaikum salam. Yeah, there is. Yeah. 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 Yeah, we read it here. 3 zirah. If you meet someone praying and he didn't place a sitra, you don't want to pass before him. Just make sure you count 3 zirah and you pass behind him. So if he's praying there, you know here it's more than 3 zirah, you can pass. You didn't pass before him. Yeah.
What of an old woman? Maybe 70, 80?
I don't know. Because she's not menstruating anymore, right? You raise a very good and important question. I will search for it. Al-Baliga. Yeah, but that just to explain to you what it means by ha'id. When she reached the age of, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Wa alaikum assalam.
Someone and he's completing his prayer. So and you want to leave. You are like directly into it. So
Yeah, you don't leave. It happens to me twice this week. Yeah, I was the last person in the masjid because they are doing second congregational prayer, and they used me as sitra. Everyone left but me and them. I was trying to show them that I was just there before them. Once he said, Assalamu alaikum, I stood off to show them I was just there before them. I finished my supplication, but I can't move because they are using me as sitra. Now, as soon as I moved, I'm passing before people praying, number one. Number two, also, they are praying without sitra. So I was serving a purpose. Sheikh Nasruddin Albani was asked in one of his audios I listened to, can I use my brother as sitra? He said, that's very good if he allows you to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to, yeah. Walaikum salam. Yeah, there is. Yeah. 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 Yeah, we read it here. 3-0. If you meet someone praying and he didn't place a sitra, you don't want to pass before him. Just make sure you count 3-0 and you pass behind him. So if he's praying there, you know here it's more than 3-0, you can pass. You didn't pass before him. Yeah.
What of an old woman? Maybe 70, 80.
I don't know. Because she's not menstruating anymore, right? You raise a very good and important question. I will search for it. Al-Baliga. Yeah, but that just to explain to you what it means by ha'id. When she reached the age of, yeah. Just make sure it's as the length of 1-0. You can place anything to do salah, but there is an exception. That's why he said, as-salatu jahal qab. Can we place a grave to be, the grave is the grave of a dead person, to be sitra? He said, وَكَانَ يَنْهَا عَنِ الصَّلَاةِ جَهَلْ قَبْرِ. The Prophet ﷺ forbade praying while facing grave. فَيَقُولُ, he used to say, لَا تُصَلُّوا إِلَى الْقُبُورِ. Do not pray facing qabr, facing a grave. وَلَا تَجْلِسُوا عَلَيْهَا. Also do not sit on it. You do not glorify it to pray and facing it, and also you don't humiliate it by sitting on it. Both are forbidden. So we know there is an exception, right? The exception is a grave. You can't use a grave of any pious person or any person whatsoever to make it as sitra. The next chapter, An-Niyya. You see, we are going one by one. We started with facing Qibla, then standing when you face the Qibla. Then what are you going to place to be your sitra all before you start? Then now intention. So it's logical, one by one, before we start takbir, before we start recitation of Quran, it goes to taslim. It starts from facing Qibla to taslim. So now we are on the way. We haven't started yet, right? We haven't started takbir, yeah. Yeah, if there's sitra between you and him, yeah. But don't place the qabr to the grave to be your sitra.
If there's a sutra between you and the grave,
Yeah, you can pray.
pray in front of the grave.
Yeah, not in front of, while the grave is in front of you. Let's assume that this is a cemetery here. There is this wall, we can pray here.
Like a bottle.
No, we said bottle is not enough. But when you have something like sitra, like the length of this, you can. People pray in the Masjid al-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is his qabr there. Abu Bakr is there, Umar is there. But what scholars said, because there is a wall demarcating you with him. So no problem. So you can do that. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
النية وكان صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى.
An-Niyya. The next thing is that after all this is put in place, then you have to have the intention, knowing that this is what I'm going to pray. وَكَانَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَقُولُ. The Prophet ﷺ used to say, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Actions are judged according to the intention. So if you just place all these things, but you don't want to pray, you face the Kaaba, you place, you place sitra, but you are not intending to pray, then you're not praying. So you have to have the intention of prayer. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. And every person has what he intends. So intention, but intention is where? Muhalluhul qalb, is in your heart. You don't utter intention. You don't say nawaitu salatu kada kada. It's not reported from the Prophet. The intention, Sheikh Abu Bakr Gumi always used to say that intention is doing something deliberately. When you know I'm doing something deliberately, then you are intending to do it. Yi da gangan. Let me give you something I had in Makarantar Zawri when we were kids. That someone, he was given, is my cousin as well. So he was given intention to recite when he wants to pray. And the intention is, na yi niyyar sallah azhar bayan liman kiruwa raka'a hudu, Allahu Akbar. Because the name of the imam is Kiruwa. So he was taught to mention the name. And one day, he entered into city. And he wants to pray. And it's no more liman Kiruwa. And now his intention, he needs to know the name of imam. He was like, what should I say? I mean, and the imam was about to go to ruku. He's going to lose the rakah. He said, "Naini sallah azhar rakah hudu bayan liman kiruwa." Ko gida da shi muka sallah. Allahu Akbar. So all imams are now kiruwa. So you don't need all this. You don't need to know the name of the imam. You don't need to mention you're going to pray for rakah. You don't need to mention that you had intention. All we need to do is to do it deliberately. You know, I'm praying. So I'm praying, that's the intention. I have the intention of praying. Next chapter, at-takbir. Now after the intention, we come to takbir. Now we are starting. This is the sunnah of saying takbir. Why are we saying takbir? And how should it be said? Now, those are synonyms. Allah is Ar-Rahman. I want to say Ar-Rahmanu Akbar. We say your salah is invalid. This is tawqifi. It was placed there by Sharia that you shall say Allahu Akbar. That's how the Prophet ﷺ used to say. You have to say Allahu Akbar. You can't say Allah is Ar-Rahman, He's Ar-Rahim. So I will say Ar-Rahimu Akbar. No, it has to be Allahu Akbar. وَأَمَرَ بِذَلِكَ الْمُسِيءَ صَلَاتَهُ. And he commanded, who is Musi'a Salatahu? Who is Musi'a Salatahu? Who can tell me this person? Musi'a Salatahu. That prayed badly. We mentioned it, right? We said mention the person that prayed badly. Those of you who came late, it's a person, one of the companions. He entered the masjid, he prayed 2 rakat. He went to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Assalamu alaikum. The Prophet ﷺ replied him. He said, Irji fasalli fa innaka lam tusalli. Go back and pray. You didn't pray. That 2 rakat were not sufficient. You didn't pray well. Then he went and prayed and he came back. In the fourth, the Prophet ﷺ repeated the same. That you didn't pray. This is not prayer, it's not sufficient. In the 4th place, he said, Ya Rasulullah, وَالَّذِي بَعَثَكَ بِالْحَقِّ مَا أُحْسِنُ غَيْرَهَا فَعَلِّمْنِي. I swear to the one who sent you with the truth, I can't do better than I did. Just teach me. Then he taught him, if you want to pray, do this, do this. Part of what he told him is, he said, وَقَالَ لَهُ إِنَّهُ لَا تَتِمُّ الصَّلَاةَ لِآدٍ مِّنَ النَّاسِ حَتَّى يَتَوَضَّى. No one will have a complete salah unless he perform wudu, فَيَضَعُ الْوُضُوءَ مَوَاضِعَهُ. And he will perfect wudu. وَيَضَعَ الْوُضُوءَ مَوَاضِعَهُ ثُمَّ يَقُولُ. Then after wudu he will say Allahu Akbar. So takbir is an obligation. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ. Someone, after, when you recite this, when you read this, someone will read from there.
وَكَانَ يَقُولُ مِفْتَاحُ الصَّلَاةِ الطُّهُورُ وَتَحْرِيمُهَا التَّكْبِيرُ وَتَحْلِيلُهَا.
Wakana yaqulu, he used to say, Miftahu Salati Tuhur, the key to prayer is purification. You have to be pure. You have to perform wudu. Without wudu, your salah is invalid. Wa tahrimuha takbir, and what makes actions invalid is takbir. That is why it's called takbiratul ihram. Takbiratul ihram has 2 meanings, because ihram is like you are commencing on something, and it also means haram. Everything is haram. Once you said Allahu Akbar, now it's haram for you to talk. It's haram for you to eat. It's haram for you to laugh. It's haram for you to do any action. That's why he said, وَتَحْرِيمُهَا التَّكْبِيرُ. What makes actions invalid or what makes actions haram is takbir. Once you say Allahu Akbar. وَتَحْلِيلُهَا التَّسْلِيمُ. What makes actions halal, permissible is taslim. Once you said Assalamu alaikum, before you say second Assalamu alaikum, you can say Assalamu alaikum, brother, are you there? I have not seen you. You can just start talking. You can eat. Once you say Assalamu alaikum, it's halal for you to do anything. It is better for you to start supplication. But then if you wish, you can say anything. You can talk. وَكَانَ يَرْفَعُ صَوْتَهُ.
كان يرفع صوته بالتكبير حتى يسمع من خلفه.
وَكَانَ يَرْفَعُ صَوْتَهُ بِالتَّكْبِير. The Prophet ﷺ used to raise his voice with takbir حَتَّى يُسْمِعَ مَنْ خَلْفَهُ, until the people behind him will hear him. So now if you go to in some of the local masajid, I don't know why, you will never hear Imam saying takbir. We say, but then the muaddin will say, Allah Allahu Akbar, he raised his voice. This is wrong. وَكَانَ حَتَّى يَسْمَعَهَا مَنْ خَلْفَهُ. The Prophet ﷺ will raise his voice, Allahu Akbar. People behind him can hear. There is no need of a second party trying to transmit it to third party. There is no need of that. The Imam shall do it himself. So, وَكَانَ إِذَا مَرِضَ. Now this is important.
وكان إذا مرض رفع أبو بكر صوته يبلغ الناس
تكبيره صلى الله عليه وسلم وكان يقول
إذا قال الإمام الله أكبر
فقولوا
الله أكبر.
وكان إذا مرض, when the Prophet is sick, so he can't raise his voice because he's sick. رفع أبو بكر صوته يبلغ الناس تكبيره. Abu Bakr will raise his voice to convey the takbir of the Prophet. Because he's sick, he cannot raise his voice. On normal occasion, he will say, Allahu Akbar, till people behind him will hear. But now when he's sick, he couldn't do that. Then he will say, as much as he can say, that Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu will raise his voice. So when there is need, no problem to find someone who can convey on behalf of Imam, who can say Allahu Akbar. But when Imam, everyone can hear the voice of Imam. Today with the aid of this electronic gadget, there is no need of another person also saying Allahu Akbar after Imam saying Allahu Akbar. Some scholars, unfortunately even the Maliki scholars, some of the Maliki scholars that we claim that we are following the Maliki, some of us claim that they are following the Maliki madhab. In Maliki madhab, some scholars are of the opinion that if you make a mistake of raising your voice to convey, your salah is invalid. And it is in Maliki school. But still some people who claim that they are from Maliki, they are the one practicing it. Raf'ul yadaini, how do you raise your hands? Now we say takbir. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ, the Prophet used to say, إِذَا قَالَ الْإِمَامُ اللَّهُ أَكْبَرُ فَقُولُوا اللَّهُ أَكْبَرُ. When Imam says Allahu Akbar, you say Allahu Akbar after him. So you don't wait for Mu'adhin to say Allahu Akbar, the person who is conveying. You don't wait for him. Once the Imam said Allahu Akbar, you say Allahu Akbar. You don't mind the person conveying because he shouldn't be there. We can read this chapter before we leave. They said 5 minutes. Raf'ul yadaini.
وكان يرفع يديه تارة مع التكبير وتارة بعد التكبير وتارة قبله وكان يرفع.
Yeah, okay, wait there. Now Raf'ul yadain, raising hands. How do you raise your hand? How do you raise your hand? You know, when takbir, you need to raise your hand. How do you raise your hand? This is very important. He has 3 styles of raising hands. كان يرفع يديه تارة مع التكبير. Sometimes with takbir. Sometimes with takbir. He says Allahu Akbar together. وتارة قبله. Is that? وتارة بعد التكبير. Sometimes after takbir, you can say Allahu Akbar. وتارة قبله. You can also, or sometimes before it, you can do this. Allahu Akbar. So we have how many stars? 3. You can do it with takbir to say Allahu Akbar. You can do it after takbir. You say Allahu Akbar. Then you raise your hands. And you can do it before. Allahu Akbar. They are all permissible. They are all sunnah because it's different style of the Prophet. So where are you going to raise your hand to? Here or here? He will tell us the next line. Wakana.
وكان يرفعهما
ممدودة الأصابع.
لا يخرج بينهما
ولا يضمها. وكان يرفعها ممدودة الأصابع. The Prophet ﷺ used to raise his fingers apart, like ممدودة الأصابع. He will stretch it like this. Not this, not anything. Just stretch it this way. La yufarriju bainaha. He will not, no space out. He wouldn't do this. Wala yadummuha, and he will not put it together. Just leave it naturally like this. Allahu Akbar. Don't space out. Don't put it together. Leave it the way it is naturally. Allahu Akbar. You know, in Salah, there are, you know, how you do with your fingers. There are 3 different actions you do with your fingers. Sometimes in Salah, you are asked to just leave it this way, to say Allahu Akbar. Sometimes you are asked to space out, and sometimes you are asked to put it together. And we are going to study them. Now we study one. Even your fingers they have a position that in Sunnah you show how you shall place them. Sometimes leave it all together, don't bring it together and don't space out. Sometimes space out. Sometimes this is required in Salah. In certain places you are required to do this, and sometimes you are required to do this in certain places. And in this place you are required to do this, to live it naturally in between. Not spaced out and not together. Do you understand? We're going to come to reach the two. So don't ask me about them. We're going to reach them. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then in the next session. Then this is how you shall do with your fingers. But where do you keep them? Go ahead, read the last line. حذو منكبيه يحاذي بهما فروع أذنيه وكان يجعلها حذو منكبيه. He used to place his fingers at the level of his shoulders. So level with your shoulders. This. Allahu Akbar. Oh, Allahu Akbar. Oh, Allahu Akbar. At the level of your shoulder. He said what? وَرُبَّمَا كَانَ يَرْفَعُهُمَا. Sometimes he will raise them above the shoulders. حَتَّى يُحَاذِيَ بِهِمَا فُرُوعَ أُذْنَيْهِ. Until he reached the level of his ears. Level of the top of his ears here. فُرُوعَ أُذْنَيْهِ. This is for the top. Then he will say sometimes Allahu Akbar. So how many style altogether? First, upon raising, sometimes with takbir, sometimes after takbir, sometimes before. Yeah. And also to which level? Sometimes to shoulders and sometimes to your ears. Do you understand? Okay. Be careful. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, لَوْ يَعْلَمُ الْمَارُ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. We did it. If the person passing before the person praying knows his sin, he would stay 40 years. Then it will be better for him than to pass. So if you come to the masjid, you finish your prayer and some people are still praying, so you shall be careful not to pass before them. And you, the person praying, try to make someone to be your sutra. Once the imam says assalamu alaikum, now you are on your own, you are praying alone. So try to have someone and make sutra with him. If he's understanding, he will allow you to finish. If he's not, he will go allow someone. Especially if you go to like Arab countries. This I didn't have any injunction, but I see this frequently. Once imam finish, they will rush to go to the wall, to go to the nearest wall or nearest pillar and pray. And there's no harm whatever when you walk while praying. The Prophet used to walk to open the door for Aisha radiallahu anha to come in. So no harm. So once you are praying and with imam and he finishes, now you are praying, you are left over. What you're supposed to do? Try to get a wall or a pillar of the masjid, or try to make someone a barrier, a straw for you, and pray. Aisha is replying to you what Aisha said after Aisha radiallahu anha had this hadith, that 3 things break your salah. Then she said, why do you make us with dogs and donkeys? You said women in demonstration and donkeys. Then because she didn't hear the hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. But then her not hearing is not a hujjah. It is reported in authentic hadith, then we use it. But she argued in the first place, saying that, so you making us on the same level with the donkey and the black dog we mentioned in the same hadith. This was her argument. But then it is authentic hadith, and they are not made the same, but just on passing, yes, they all break the prayer. I want you to learn something from me. I have been doing it because I want you to learn. There is a common mistake. It is very common that many people do it. Many people do it, including scholars. I won't call it mistake. I won't call it mistake because doing what I want you to do is not necessary, but it's preparable. It's when you want to speak before people, it's not a mistake what people are doing, but it's better. When you want to speak, you stand before people, you want to speak, you start with Alhamdulillah. So if you want to speak before people, don't start with Assalamu alaikum, or Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, or A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Bakr bin Abdullah Abu Zayd, in his book Tasihud Dua, he mentioned and he quoted Ibn Qayyim that A'udhu Billah is a supplication place for you to hear Quran after it. So when someone says A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, we are expecting to hear Qul Huwallahu Ahad. But when you want to speak before people, this is the fourth time. I'm doing it deliberately. This is how I do all the time. But I'm doing it just to teach. When you want to speak before people, you start with Alhamdulillah or Inna Alhamdulillah. Anything praising Allah. Anything saying Alhamdu. Anything with Alhamdu. That's how you do. That's why Imam, when he enters the masjid, the first thing he does, he say Assalamu alaikum. But he's not speaking to anyone. He said Assalamu alaikum. Then he sit down. Then Mu'adhin will call prayer. But if he stand up, he want to speak to people, he will start with Alhamdulillah or Inna Alhamdulillah. So Inna Alhamdulillah or Alhamdulillah is a supplication you do before you speak to people. I wouldn't say that A'udhu Billah is wrong. Some scholars said it's wrong. Ibn al-Qayyim said it's wrong. Bakr Abdullah Abu Zayd said it's wrong. Albani, also the author of this book, insisted that you have to start with Inna Alhamdulillah. Inna Alhamdulillah. So yeah, so the same with the two other scholars. But then it's preparable. You say, I would say it's preparable. You said Alhamdulillah. Bismillah is meant when you are starting a chapter of the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. So, but when Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah, inna Alhamdulillah, then you speak to people. Well, which? كل أمر ذي بال لا يبدأ فيه بالحمد ولا يبدأ فيه بسم الله. They are both weak. But then Sheikh Nasir al-Albani made لا يبدأ بالحمد to be Hassan in Irwa al-Galil. It's hadith number 2. Irwa al-Galil is 4 volumes. Very, very nice book. Very good book. Is the second hadith there in is this hadith. Alhamdulillah, and he said it is Hassan. Yeah, if I could remember. He said it's Hassan. وَضَعُ الْيُمْنَى عَلَى الْيُسْرَى وَالْأَمْرُ بِهِ. Now after you said takbir, and you raise your hand to where they shall be raised to, either to your shoulder or to your ears, and either with takbir or before or after, then where are you supposed to place the hands? Where are you supposed to place your hand? Al-Yusra, placing the right hand on the left hand, وَالْأَمْرُ بِهِ, and the command that the Prophet ﷺ command us to do. وَكَانَ صَلَّى يَضَعُ يَدَهُ الْيُمْنَى عَلَى الْيُسْرَى. The Prophet ﷺ used to place his right hand on the left. Right on the left. وَكَانَ يَقُولُ, and he used to say, إِنَّا مَعْشَرَ الْأَنْبِيَا, we the company of the prophets, أُمِرْنَا بِتَعْجِيلِ فِطْرِنَا, we are commanded to hasten and breaking fast. When we are fasting, as soon as the sun is set, we break the fast. وَتَعْجِيلِ سُهُورِنَا, right? وَتَعْخِيرِ سُهُورِنَا, also to delay the suhoor. We shall take the suhoor at the last hour, the last minute before the dawn. So we are commanded to hasten and breaking our fast, and also to delay the suhoor. وَأَنَّ بَعَ أَيْمَانِنَا عَلَى شَمَائِلِنَا فِي الصَّلَاةِ, also to place our right hand on the left hand while we are praying. So placing right hand on the left hand when you are praying is sunnah, is something that the Prophet ﷺ commands us to do. It's just like hastening and breaking your fast. It's just like delaying your suhoor. وَمَرَّ بِرَجُلٍ وَهُوَ يُسَلِّي وَقَدْ وَضَعَ يَدَهُ الْيُمْنَى عَلَى الْيُسْرَى. The Prophet ﷺ passed by a man while he was praying. He placed his left on the right. We said the right thing is to do what? To place the right hand on the left one, right? But the Prophet ﷺ passed by a man praying. We see them a lot. He placed his left on the right. فَانْتَزَعَهَا, the Prophet ﷺ took it. وَوَضَعَ الْيُمْنَى عَلَى الْيُسْرَى, he placed the right on the left. So if you see someone praying, he places his left hand on the right, try to place it and put the right one over the left one. We finished that? So if you place the right on the left. Now all we studied is that you place right on the left. This is placing right on the left. Where are you going to place them? On your head? On down? Where? Then the next chapter. وَضَعُهُمَا عَلَى الصَّدْرِ, putting them on chest. You have to put it on your chest. وَكَانَ يَضَعُ الْيُمْنَى عَلَى ظَهْرِ كَفِّهِ الْيُسْرَى وَالْوُسْقِ وَالسَّائِدِ. He ﷺ used to place his left hand on the left palm, that's cup, وَالْوُسْقِ, and the wrist, وَالسَّائِدِ, and forearm. So this on this, This is called al-kaf, palm. Our rusuk, the wrist, wasa'id and forearm. So you place them here. You see? It touches this, this, and this. This. You place them. Or you place them like this. It's all the same. But make sure that it touches 3 places. You have the back of your thumb, the wrist, and the forearm. Wakana ahyanan, and occasionally sometimes yakbidu bil yumna ala yusra. He will grasp the left with the right. Instead of placing them, he will just hold. Just hold. Sometimes you can do this. You can do this. You hold, and sometimes you can place. Both is sunnah. Sometimes the Prophet ﷺ will hold. Sometimes he will place. وَكَانَ يَضَعُهُمَا عَلَى الصَّدْرِ. He also placed them on his chest. So we know how to do it, this or this, and where to place on the chest. There is hadith that of Ali bin Abi Talib that the Prophet ﷺ used to place it on his belly, this way. But then it's a weak hadith. The authentic is on his chest. That's why till today you see the Hanafi school. The Hanafis, you will always see them praying like this. When we were teenage, a friend of mine prayed like this. And I asked him why. Because I knew the hadith is weak. I was expecting him to tell me because of hadith of Ali bin Abi Talib. I said, that hadith is weak. He said, because rich people, that's how they do. I was expecting him to tell me a hadith, and I will correct him. He said he observed that rich people, that's how they do. And he's trying to do the way rich people do. So now you know that the Prophet ﷺ placed them on his chest, not on the lower part of his belly. وَكَانَ يَنْهَى عَنِ الْإِقْتِصَارِ. The Prophet ﷺ forbade putting hands on waist, fi salah, while in prayer. Prophet ﷺ forbade doing this in prayer. Who does this? Who does this? This is your question, right? Let me set you right. Who does this? The people who didn't meet their parent praying. They are praying for the first time. You are low-key. When you didn't do this, it's nothing to show. Because you met your parent praying. You met everyone in your area praying. You know, people don't do this anymore. But they are the first to pray. They didn't know anything. The Prophet ﷺ, sometimes he stood his hand, right hand on his left hand. Someone will just start like this while praying. Because he was praying for the first time. He didn't know that this is forbidden. He did it, then the Prophet ﷺ said, don't do it. Now you are not doing it, he will be rewarded. You not doing it, he will be rewarded for doing it for the first time, and the Prophet ﷺ forbade him. So it is mankaba for him, it's something good for him. It's a merit for him that he did it, then the Prophet ﷺ forbade it. وَهِيَ الصُّلْبُ الَّذِي كَانَ يَنْهَى عَنْهُ. That's the cross that the Prophet ﷺ forbade us to do. Because when you do this, you are like crossing, you are like doing a cross. That the Prophet ﷺ said, don't do that because you are making like a cross, a sulb, like salib. MashaAllah. This is the last chapter I want us to stop at. النَّظَرُ إِلَى مَوْضِئِ السُّجُودِ وَالْخُشُوعِ. Now, we started from facing Kaaba. Now we have finished with placing one hand, right hand on the left. Then once you place your right hand on the left, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to look at the place of your sujood. This is the chapter, and this will create khushu. Khushu, humility in prayer. To be humble, to have that humility in prayer. You need to place your eyes another ila mawdi is sujood, looking at the place of sujood, wal khushu, and humility. How are you going to gain humility and khushu? وَكَانَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ إِذَا صَلَّى طَأَ رَأْسَهُ. The Prophet ﷺ, when he prays, he will incline his head. He will fix it. He won't be like turning around. وَرَمَى بِبَصْرِهِ نَحْوَ الْأَرْضِ. And he will fix his sight to the ground. He will fix his head and fix his sight to the ground. Looking. He won't do this. Going down, and he won't raise his head. He will fix his head and in one place, but his sight will go to the place of sujood. وَلَمَّا دَخَلَ الْكَعْبَةَ when he entered Kaaba, ما خلف بصره موضع سجوده حتى خرج منها. He did not take his gaze from where he did sujood until he came out from it. You know, Kaaba, there are many historical things in it. When he was praying, he didn't start looking at the historical things in the Kaaba. He placed his gaze on the ground till he finished praying. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, لا ينبغي أن يكون في البيت شيء يشغل المصلي. It is not fitting that in the house we find something that is taking away the attention of the person praying. If you have a place where you pray in the night, so don't decorate it. Decorations all over. That when you are praying, you will start looking at, oh, this decoration is nice, this is good. Shaitan will come and break your salah. He said, لا ينبغي. It's not fitting that you have something that will take your attention in salah, in your house. وَكَانَ يَنْهَى عَنْ رَفْعِ الْبَصَرِ إِلَى السَّمَاءِ. He used to forbid looking at the sky in prayer. If you are praying, don't look at the sky. You might say, but we read, قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. We saw the turning of your face in heaven when he wants the change of Qibla. But that was before. That was before even the Qibla was placed, when the prayer was when he was starting prayer. But later, the Prophet ﷺ forbade that. وَيُؤَكِّرُ فِي النَّهَيِ حَتَّى يَقُولُ. And he insisted on forbidding us. He even said, لَيَنْتَهِيَنَّ أَقْوَامٌ يَرْفَعُونَ أَبْصَارَهُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. People who are raising their sight to heaven shall refrain from doing that. أَوْ لَا تَرْجُعُ إِلَيْهِمْ. Or that sight will not come back to them. So if you keep on looking at the sky, there is fear that your sight, you might lose your sight. The Prophet ﷺ said, people looking at the sky while they are praying, they shall refrain from that, or that sight might not come back to them. Some scholars said, it might come back to you, but you don't see something good. Now, it's like the sight is there, you can see, but you're always into sins because you disobey the Prophet ﷺ. It is a metaphor. Then what? وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ. In another narration, أَوْ لَتُخْطَفَنَّ أَبْصَارَهُمْ. Or it will be plucked away. That eyes might be plucked away. It might be removed if you insist on looking at the sky while you are praying. You know why? Ibn Qayyim said in his book, there is a very nice book of Ibn Qayyim, I should have mentioned it when talking about Sitra. He said, what's the name of the book? Rawdatul Muhibbin wa Jannatul Mushtaqin. He said in it, the reason why you need to place Sitra, I'm taking you back a little, and you don't allow anyone to pass before you, because when you are meeting with your loved ones, you don't want people to pass between you. When you are interacting with your father, you have meeting with your father, you don't want just a random person coming to pass. What if you are interacting with Allah? It's even better, you don't allow anyone to pass. And also Ibn Qayyim said on this, what is the point here? He said, sorry? I forgot this. Yeah, okay, I get it. Or they will lose their sight. He said, you don't look at the sky. You don't look at sky. You don't look at heavens while you're praying. Why? Because if you was talking to someone there, you're very shy with him, you can't look him in his eyes. Allah is in heaven. So you can't, now you are interacting with him and you start looking there. It's so irrespectful. So you need to respect Allah. You know he's in heaven. Therefore, if you're praying, look down. Don't look at the sky. Just this is his own interpretation. But whatever it is, the Prophet ﷺ forbade us to look at the sky while we are praying. وفي حديث آخر, in another narration, he said, إذا صليتم فلا تلتفتوا. If you pray, do not look here and there. Iltifat, like looking left and right. Don't do that. فإن الله ينسب وجهه لوجه عبده في صلاته ما لم يلتفت. Allah will be looking and will be facing at you, provided that you don't look around. So while you are praying, you put your sight on the ground, Allah will be facing you. As soon as you start looking around, then Allah will leave you. وقال أيضا عن الالتفات. وقال أيضا عن الالتفات. The Prophet ﷺ also said about looking around in salah. قال اختلاس يختلسه الشيطان من صلاة العبد. It is a snatching that Shaitan snatch from the reward of salah. So if you are praying, you're supposed to get 10 reward. When you turn around, shaitan is snatching. Ikhtilasun. He's snatching one reward from you. When you turn around again, he snatch another reward. But your salah is valid provided that you didn't turn all your body against Qibla. You are facing Qibla, then you just turn around when you had something, or you look around. Shaitan is snatching from your salah, but your salah is valid, but you wouldn't have a complete ajr. Then what next? وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يزال الله مقبلا على العبد في صلاته ما لم يلتفت. Allah will continue to focus on you while you are praying and will give you reward provided that you didn't look around. فإذا صرف وجهه إن صرف عنه. When you turn away from the place where you put your forehead, your place of sujood, iltafata anhu, Allah will turn away from you. Once you turn away from it, Allah will turn away from you. So if you need Allah to focus on you while you are praying, also place your sight on the place where you do sujood. وَنَهَا عَنْ ثَلَاثٍ. The Prophet ﷺ forbade three things. أَنُّقْرَةٍ كَنُقْرَةِ الدِّيكِ. Pecking like pecking of hand. We know how hand peck, right? نُقْرَةٍ كَنُقْرَةِ الدِّيكِ. If you are praying behind someone, he said, Allahu Akbar, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. My students in Sokoto, they know me very much that I insist that you pray behind anyone, provided that he's Muslim, he's not Shia, he's not Hakika. Just pray behind anyone. Please don't separate people. Don't make it group. Don't say that this is our group, this is our organization. I only pray from people who paid allegiance with me. Yesterday we were studying Sahih Muslim, and this is what we discussed. We are very friendly when we are studying Sahih Muslim. They are all big. Some of them are imams of masjid. All of them, they are scholars. They also teach. They teach this book. They teach other books. So I studying big books like we studied Abu Dawood, we studied Bukhari and Muslim. Yesterday we were studying Muslim, and we come to this point that what if, one of them asked me, what if I'm praying, because I said I insisted you pray behind any Muslim, provided that you know he's not Shia, provided that you know he's not from Hakika group, then you pray behind him. You don't know him. Any Muslim you meet praying is an innocent person. Just pray behind him. Don't say he's not from our tribe. He's not from our city. He's not from our madhab. He's not from our organization. Then they asked me, what if he's pecking like a chicken? Then I said, like a hen. Then I said, I prayed behind someone. This person, when I met him praying, he was really pecking. But he left me behind. When he said ruku, I went ruku. Before I said Sami Allah, I saw him on sujood. I insisted on following him. Then I went to sujood. Before I rest from the first sujood, he was already standing. Then I just left him. Then people around started clapping. He said, Ya Abu Malan, Ya Abu Malan, Ya Abu Malan. Because I have to go on another sujood. My fear is if I go on another sujood before I rise up, he went for ruku. Or sujood. So I have to just break the salah. So the Prophet ﷺ forbade on three things. The first is pecking, kanukrated day, like a cock or like a hen. Also skirting, like skirting of a dog. How does dog skirt? Okay, we're going to come to study how you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to sit when you pray. But skirting of a dog, scholars have two interpretation of it. It's difficult, right? The second is, this is called iqa. This is called iqa. This is forbidden in prayer. It is only allowed in one place. We're going to come and mention. Not today, not tomorrow maybe. When we come back in the session. This sitting is allowed only in one place in salah. Okay, let me tell you. Between two sujood. Occasionally. Between two sujood, you can do it occasionally. But not always. But occasionally because of hadith of Abdullah bin Abbas. So this is the nuqra. So it's forbidden between two sujood, you sit like this, it's forbidden. After 2 rak'ah, you sit like this, is forbidden. After 3 or 4, the third or fourth rak'ah to sit like this is forbidden. This is called iqa. Waltifatun kaltifati sa'alab. And looking around like a fox. You just look around like a fox is forbidden. So if you look at it also, they are all actions of animals. So we are forbidden to imitate animals. Nukratun ka nukrati dik, pecking like a hen. Wa iqa'un ka iqa'il qalb, also skirting like a dog. Wa waltifatun kaltifatu sa'alab, and looking around like that of a fox. All this is forbidden. Wa kan sallallahu yaqulu, the Prophet sallallahu used to say, Salli salata muwaddi'in. Pray as if you farewell prayer. Pray as if that is your last prayer you're going to pray. كأنك تراه, just as you are seeing Allah. فإن كنت لا تراه, if you are not seeing him, فإنه يراك, he sees you. ويقول, the Prophet ﷺ used to say, ما من امرئ تحضره صلاة مكتوبة, whenever an obligatory prayer is due, فيحسن وضوءها, and a person يحسن وضوءها, he perfect the wudu, he does wudu very well, وخشوعها, and his humility in salah, وركوعها, and he does ruku perfectly, إلا كانت كفارة لما قبلها من الذنوب, it will serve as an expiation to what is between it and other salah. All the sins you commit between this salah and another salah, if you have khushu in your salah, you have humility, you do ruku perfectly, and you did the ablution perfectly, it will serve as an expiation. Of major sins or minor sins, there is difference of opinion. We are not into that. But the Prophet ﷺ said, kafaratun lima bayna yadayha, it will be an expiation to the sins you commit in between. Ma lam yu'ta kabira, provided that you do not come to a kabira, major sins. You didn't kill anyone, you didn't commit adultery, you didn't steal, you didn't drink alcohol. Just the minor sins you commit, it will serve as an expiation to that. وَذَلِكَ الدَّهْرُ كُلُّهُ, this is all your life. So when we prayed Zuhur, Asr now, the minor sins we committed, it will serve an expiation, provided that we have khushu in salah. Now, another point. وَقَدْ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ فِي خَمِيسَةٍ لَهَا عَلَامٍ. The Prophet ﷺ once prayed, someone asked me, and I said we are coming to that. I think someone asked me just after Zuhur, he said, what are praying with a shirt which has pictures and things like that that will take your attention? Now this is the hadith about it. وَقَدْ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ فِي خَمِيسَةٍ لَهَا عَلَامٍ. The Prophet ﷺ prayed in a garment that had pictures. It has not necessarily pictures, images, and it has lines and things crossing. It is very beautiful. فَنَظَرَ إِلَيْهَا نَظَرَةً. And when he was praying, he looked at the images on his garment. What happened? فَنَظَرَ إِلَيْهَا نَظَرَةً. فَلَمَّا انصَرَفَ, when he finished with salah, قَالَ, he said, اذهبوا بخميستي هذه إلى أبي جهم. Take this my garment to Abu Jaham. Abu Jaham is the person who gifted it to me. Take it back to him. فأتوني بأنبجانية أبي جهم. Tell him to give me the one that has no images. فإنها كادت أن تبتنني. It was فإني نظرت إلى ألمها في الصلاة. I look at the images on it while I was praying. فكاد يفتنني. And it was about to put me to trial, to fitna. It was about to put me to trial. Instead of me to concentrate, I was looking at, this is very nice. This image is very nice. So you are not supposed to pray with something that has image, something that is even colorful, that will take the attention of yourself. Or if you are praying in congregation, something so unique that will take the attention of the people there. But I think my cap will not take the attention of anyone and your cap, because we are already used to it, right? So no one will start looking at caps because they are colorful, because we are used to seeing that. But maybe when you go to somewhere that you see people will start looking at you, then maybe you better drop it so that it won't take the attention, it won't draw the attention of people. وَكَانَ لِآئِشَةَ ثَوْبٌ فِيهِ تَسَاوِيرٌ مَمْدُودٌ إِلَى السَّهْوَةِ. Aisha has a curtain which has a lot of images, and the curtain that she placed it on the window maybe, and it blocked everywhere. If the Prophet ﷺ want to pray, he will start looking at the window because of the images on the curtain. Then he said, what did he say? He said, فَكَانَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يُصَلِّي إِلَيْهِ. The Prophet ﷺ used it as sitra. It's on the wall of Qibla. So he faced this curtain and he prayed. Then he said, فَقَالَ, he said, أَخِّرِهِ أَنِّي, take it away from me. Take this curtain away from me, because it has images. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَزَالُ تَصَاوِرُهُ تَعَوْضُ لِي فِي الصَّلَاةِ. I always imagine these pictures. Even when I look down, after looking at it, it takes my attention, and I start imagining how beautiful the images are. So look at the Prophet ﷺ, because all his life is about Iman, is getting to Allah. He said, take this my garment, take this my cloth to Abu Jahab. I don't need it anymore because it took my attention from Salah. He said, Aisha radiallahu anha, this curtain of you, take it away, I don't need it, because it takes my attention from salah. This is the Prophet sallallahu. Salah, 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 akhirah. But today we have many things that take our attention from Islam itself, but we can't get rid of it. We are supposed to get rid of anything that would take us away from Allah. His garment, his clothes took him away from Allah. He said, take it to Abu Jahl and ask him to, because he gifted it to me. Now when we take it to him, he will feel like, he won't feel happy that I gifted the Prophet something, he's taking it back. He said, give me the one that's not colorful. Give me a plain one, Ambijaniya. The one that is not colorful, a plain one, give it to me. But I won't like this because it took me away from prayer. Aisha, you have a curtain, very nice curtain, but لا تزال تساويره تؤرض علي في صلاتي. I always imagine the pictures on this curtain when I'm praying, so please akhrihi anni, take it away from me. This is how we are supposed to be. Whatever that will take you from salah, you have some friends that will take you back from going to congregational prayer, get rid of them. You have a job that takes you away from Allah, stay away from it, get rid of it. You have whatever that takes you away from Allah, get rid of it. If not to this level of it takes you a khushu and humility in salah, but to the level of it takes you away from deen. Some people won't allow you to go to school. Some people won't allow you to pray in congregation. Some people won't allow you to do good. You will just stay back slandering and backbiting and talking about others. Get rid of them. You don't need them in your life. I think this is where we're going to stop. The Prophet ﷺ used to say, La salata bihadarati ta'am. There is no salah when a food is placed. When there is food is been served, is placed. It's been served on the table or it's been served on where you are eating. Because it will take your attention. You will start thinking that, oh, I shall stay and eat. How delicious the food is. Let me just finish salah and go and eat. I will give you another story. It refreshes at the end. They said some people, the laborers, when they finish their work, they're expecting food. They're expecting their hura to come. They want to drink hura. When the person they sent delayed, then they said, let's just pray before he comes. Then they started. It was 4 of them. It was 4 of them. It was 4 of them, Imam and 3 of them behind. Then when the person comes, one of them said, here he is, he arrives. He wasn't able to hold his happiness that he saw the person. They said. Then the second person said, your salah is invalid. And now the second person, the second to the Imam, knew that if he said that to them, also his salah is invalid. But he has to say it in a stylish way. He said, Imam, it's only me and you that didn't talk. And the Imam said, how can I talk while praying? So 4 over 4, right? So the Prophet says, La salata bihadarati ta'am. There is no salah when the food is served. Wala huwa yudafi'uhu al-akhbathan. Also when someone akhbathan is pushing you, that when you want to defecate or when to urine, because you will hasten in your prayer, say, I want to go to toilet, so let me just do it and finish. Go to toilet first, finish what you are doing, so that you have khushu, you have tuma'anina. If you face Allah, you are praying, you face Allah, you are praying. You don't have anything to do. You are not expecting food? No. You are not expecting. Allahumma ba'id bayni wa bayna khatayaya kama ba'adta bayna al-mashriqi wal-maghrib. Allahumma naqqini min khatayaya kama yunaqqa thawbul abyadu min ad-danas. Allahumma ghsilni min khatayaya bil ma'i wal thalji wal barad. I will repeat. اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب اللهم نقني من خطاياي كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس اللهم اغسلني من خطاياي بالماء والثلج والبرد. Now repeat after me. اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب. اللهم نقني من خطاياي كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. اللهم اغسلني من خطاياي بالماء والثلج والبرد. Okay, say it, recite it, let me hear. So this is compulsory, then you choose any two. The second one, I will just go through them. The second one is وَجَّهْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّذِي فَطَرَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ حَنِيفًا مُسْلِمًا وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسْكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين اللهم أنت الملك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك أنت ربي وأنا عبدك ظلمت نفسي واعترفت بذنبي فاغفر لي ذنبي جميعا إنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت واهدني لأحسن الأخلاق لا يهدي لأحسنها إلا أنت واصرف عني سيئها لا يصرف عني سيئها إلا أنت. Is that right? سيئها إلا أنت لبيك وسعديك والخير كله في يديك والخير كله في يديك والشر ليس إليك والمهدي من هديت أنا بك وإليك لا منجأ ولا ملجأ منك إلا إليك تباركت وتعاليت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. وكان يقوله في الفرض والنفل. He used to say this on obligatory and supplicatory prayers.
This is optional.
This is optional, yeah.
Just confirm.
Number 3 مثله دون أنت ربي وأنا عبدك إلى آخره. Number 3 مثله أيضا دون. Number 4 Number 5 you can make it among the option. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك. Period. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ولا إله غيرك. You said ولا إله غيرك. ولا إله غيرك. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك. سبحانك الله. Have I been saying ولا إله غيرك? Maybe I've been making a mistake. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك. Yes, ولا إله غيرك is part of it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك. Easy to memorize. Number 6 ويزيد في صلاة الليل. And in night prayer he adds after Allah لا إله إلا الله ثلاثا الله أكبر كبيرا ثلاثا. So it is سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر كبيرا الله أكبر كبيرا الله أكبر كبيرا. This is another style, another type. لا إله إلا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك is one. And saying it and adding لا إله إلا الله 3 times, الله أكبر كبيرا 3 times is also another. It's another type, which is 2, yeah. So if you memorize that, well, you can just add La ilaha illallah 3 times, Allahu Akbar Kabiran 3 times. Number 8, Alhamdulillahi hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakun fih. Bas, Alhamdulillahi hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fih. Number 9, اللهم لك الحمد أنت نور السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت قيم السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت ملك السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن ولك الحمد أنت الحق ووعدك حق وقولك حق ولقاؤك حق والجنة حق والنار حق والساعة حق والنبيون حق ومحمد حق اللهم لك أسلمت وعليك توكلت وبك آمنت وإليك أنبت وبك خاصمت وإليك حاكمت أنت ربنا وإليك المصير فاغفر لي ما قدمت وما أخرت وما أسررت وما أعلنت وما أنت أعلم به مني أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر لا إله إلا أنت ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بك. Number 10 اللهم رب جبرائيل وميكائيل وإسرافيل فاطر not فاطر فاطر السماوات والأرض عالم الغيب والشهادة أنت تحكم بين عبادك فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون اهدني لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. Number 11 كان يكبر عشرا ويحمد عشرا ويسبح عشرا ويحلل عشرا ويستغفر عشرا. So you said Allahu Akbar 10 times, Alhamdulillah 10 times, Subhanallah 10 times, La ilaha illallah 10 times. But not like Subhanallah 10 times, Alhamdulillah. No, you repeat it 10 times. Don't just mention the number. Number 12, the last one. Allahu Akbar thalathan, Dhul Malakuti wal Jabaruti wal Kibriyai wal Azma. Then he said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Dhul Malakuti wal Jabaruti wal Kibriyai wal Azma. That's it. So you choose 3 only. But number 1 is compulsory. So 2 after number 1. Tomorrow we're going to give like 15 minutes. I will make sure that like 7 people at least 7 people will recite the 3, inshallah. It won't take more than 10 minutes, inshallah. So that's the assignment I intend to give. Then maybe tomorrow we'll do the adhan thing. And we're going to skip some things that we're going to skip, which we can just refer to the book. As soon as you look at the book, you can understand them. Then we go to the things that need demonstration. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Now